Hello and welcome to All Things Career Services with TNT. I'm Dr. Tracy Spots.
And I'm Tatyana Gause.
And listen, friends, we've got a special edition of our podcast for you today. We are doing a conference for all of the Handshake leads and the career service people from the different KCTCS schools. And we have two of them sitting with us right here, right now. We've got Sherita Clark and John Bristow. Sherita, what school are you from?
I am from South Central Kentucky Community and Technical College, or SKYCTC.
Okay, what about you?
And I'm with Owensboro Community and Technical College, or OCTC.
All right, very cool. Well, welcome. So it's gonna be a very short podcast, but we're here to talk about Handshake, and you all are the Handshake gurus. So we're just gonna tag team a couple of questions to each of you. So we'll ask John the question, and then we'll turn it over to Sherita and ask the same question. So, John, what does the ideal Handshake student user look like, and what are those best practices to share with other students?
Well, I think the ideal Handshake student user is any student user. Whenever we get every one of our students, it's part of a best practice. We've integrated the requirement to get connected in your Handshake into your first year experience with OCTC. So that's an absolute requirement that we establish with our students, and we're trying to integrate just that encouragement for any of the students that aren't necessarily involved in a first year experience. We also get out into across campus and have display information about getting on a Handshake and engaging with the career services staff at OCTC so that we can make sure that they're connecting in a way that's meaningful for using that platform to explore their opportunities as they're out there right there current.
I think meaningful is the key word there. That's very
Absolutely.
good. Very good. All right, Sherita, what about you?
So for me, the ideal Handshake user is any student, any college student, no matter where they are in their college career, whether they're just starting, in the middle, maybe they're changing career paths. So Handshake is for any college student, no matter where you are in your college career. But I also feel like Handshake is good for employers. It's good for our community. So anybody that can get on this platform, and the jobs are real. There are Fortune 500 companies on there. These jobs are real. Like there's not going to be any spams like what you could get on Indeed or some of the other platforms. And I'm not saying anything bad about those platforms, but we know it is a legit platform and it's designed for college students. That's one of the things that I like about it.
Very good.
So, what strategies have worked best to encourage both student and employer adoption of Handshake?
I think employer adoption of it has been a little bit difficult. Whenever some of the people that are in hiring positions at the different places that we've approached, a lot of them are already hiring. So how do you get them to be interested in doing that? And you have to let them know that it's absolutely the opportunity to target students right when they're in that training pipeline. The sooner the students see these opportunities and register your company as a potential place that they might want to work, how are you going to attract the talent? How are you going to attract the right talent? And this is a great opportunity for employers to do that, to be able to see that as that connective tissue between the students that are coming straight out of a training pipeline and their places to get the right talent for their positions.
Can you repeat the question for me again?
Yeah. What strategies have worked best to encourage both student and employer adoption of Handshake?
So I feel like at SKYCTC it's still in its development stages. Like we're still trying to get student buy-in to really see its value. And on the employer side, it's the same thing. But I feel like, if we continue to push, Handshake, that will improve. But one of the things one of the features on Handshake is like you can schedule like a 30-minute session with these employers. What a great way for employers to connect with students, but more importantly, what a way for students to connect to those employers and learn more about their company.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a game changer. Yeah.
I was just going to add on that because I ended up going on about what was difficult about employers getting them connected. But students, I know this as far as getting students connected can be difficult. We've been having a really good, we've had great luck with getting students to get onto it through FYE. And so it kind of forces them onto this platform a lot of times, especially whenever you're using the app, because like if you give them the QR code, they can bring it up immediately on their phone, and it'll download the app for them, so that way they can absolutely quickly connect using their SSO connection through their platform. And so it makes it simple that way. But once they get in, I think the biggest thing that I've seen is once students get into the platform, they continue to look at the platform. It engages with them because it starts seeing the positions that they say, well, hey, I might be interested in a job like that. Even if it's not local, I think it's incredibly important that the students understand that it's a way for them to validate the kind of jobs that they see. And if they're not seeing the kind of jobs that are interesting for them, it's either something they need to do to adjust what they're looking for, or the kind of positions that they're expecting to see. It's a little bit of expectation management at that point. Yeah. So, but if they know that they can make adjustments in either what they're looking for, or maybe I need to adjust the kind of skills that I say I've got, or the kind of things, because these are all basically based on their majors. If they need to adjust, well, maybe this isn't the position you really thought it was going to turn out with the kind of places that you might find yourself working at. So maybe you need to make a career adjustment. And that's where we use things like Career Coach, and we have our tools that I mean, there's other free resources like ONET and My Next Move that can help also steer if you have students that are unsure about the kind of jobs they are seeing in Handshake, and do they need to make an adjustment with that.
Awesome. What features in Handshake do you feel are underutilized, and how might we encourage their adoption? You want to start, Sherita?
Collections. I think that is a real good feature that is very under, especially on my part. Like, I didn't realize how good that feature was, and how it can really help to eliminate a lot of like jobs in California if none of our students are interested in the location. So there's great ways to use it. So I think collections is a maybe an underutilized feature, and maybe appointments. Utilizing it to make appointments, all appointments. So I think those are two maybe areas that are maybe underutilized.
I know for us, probably the biggest underutilized feature is the messaging capability from within Handshake. And I think, we've had some difficulties where the kind of, the way that it shows in our student emails, if it comes from inside Handshake, because it looks like it's a third party, so it goes pushed to like it's third party stuff instead of looking like it comes from inside the school. But I know that Handshake's working to try to eliminate stuff like that. Not that that's what we're here to talk about, those kind of issues for Handshake. But underutilized, like I said, just messaging in general. The Handshake provides a lot of opportunities to engage with students and get the information directly to them. So that way they're getting the right feed of the job that they really, really want to see. Like the collections are a great way to do that. Absolutely. I mean, we make sure to leave the stuff open so our students have that availability to see, because some of our students don't want to be stuck around Kentucky, and seeing that national view, or even in some cases international jobs, is a great thing for our students to be able to look to.
And I can say, honestly, collections has been a game changer for us. And I would like to say, honestly, you just need to get that one student who gets a job from Handshake, and then you can throw them everywhere on all marketing tools. It works. I'm telling you, it works. So I think that's what we've been looking for, is just finding that one person that can come to me and say, Tracy, I went on Handshake, I found a job, and this is how it was. And then if we could just get them to come in and say, literally, it works. So, but I agree with you. I think collections has been a game changer, especially for internships. We created an internships in Kentucky for a collection, and that's been really beneficial.
So, what innovative approaches have you seen for embedding career development into technical programs or short-term credentials?
Well, as you get into technical programs, we've been trying to make sure to have our career fairs for our technical programs also go straight through the handshake process. So all the companies that are planning to come and recruit directly out of our technical programs for whatever reason, certifications, that they're absolutely listed within the handshake, so they can, whether or not they are even posting their jobs through their HR departments, we're still making sure that they're getting their companies and their contacts and that information onto the handshake program.
And I would say that it's the same at SKYCTC, just making sure that, students are connecting with these employers as well as employers connecting with, our students to, about the job openings, or, if they're currently working at a company and they have like some incentives, like, you work here, if you looking for an opportunity to move up, we got these incentives. So just, I think that
Those companies' opportunities, because the companies have opportunities within as they get onto handshake, that they can post their own information and trends that hey, look, this is a really great place to come, and how are you going to attract the right kind of talent if you're not putting yourself out there.
All right, so the last question we have: how are faculty and program coordinators involved in helping students connect learning to career pathways?
if you got something, go ahead. Because not let me think of it just a minute.
I know at OCTC we're in a fortunate position right now. We've had several of our programs, because the way we integrated it initially through experiential learning, we have a lot of the programs throughout our campus that are, they want to have some way to engage students, in a way that's going to be purposeful and give them opportunities to practice in real world scenarios, right? So how do you apply this type of stuff? So as we started that, a lot of the things where you don't have necessarily technical, in every technical class, you're going to have ways that they're going to show, hey, I'm doing this stuff, I'm getting practice, I'm gaining that experience. But how do you show in things like general studies? But we have classes like there's a class on history of witchcraft and stuff
cool.
like that. But the students get really involved in building stuff and making displays and having to promote these kind of things and integrate it into an experience to where they can then communicate all the things that they did, and how do you really relate this, make the relate those real world experiences into a way that translates for businesses and employers just to take note of your challenges or your subject matter expertise, whether it's in a scientific field, whether it's in a literary field, it's an art field, how are you showcasing those talents? And if you're not doing it in a way that integrates with your faculty members, you're missing out. So we've got a lot of different classes where we're making sure that students are recognizing these kind of skills and knowledge that are highly sought after by employers, and because it's not always the certificate that's going to get them hired. It's the soft skills, it's the other things, it's the experience, because sometimes the knowledge or the subject matter expert in a room could be a 12-year-old, depending on what you're discussing.
True. Yeah.
So I would say that some of our programs are, implementing internships, as well as, mock interviews and having, employers from outside, but also, employees from the inside that we're sitting in on those mock interviews and providing feedback, whether it be on how they're answering questions, their body language, just all those things that's going to help in their development. So I feel like the college is really doing a great job. Different programs are, doing different things to prepare the students for, the real world.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else for the good of the order that you'd like to say about Handshake or Career Services before we end this?
I think it's been a great thing to get into not only our school, but now that it's been distributed throughout the community college system, it's like I said, this has been something that's only been leveraged through four-year schools before then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been just recently integrated in the community college system. So having students have this kind of early access to see the real world opportunities out there, it's phenomenal.
Awesome.
I think it's been great to see where we started from and, where we're at now, but, where we're going to be at, in the future. So this summit has been great. There's been a lot of, great information shared. Handshake is getting ready to continue to make improvements. So to me, I feel like that's important, and especially from a community college, perspective, because community colleges are different. Like, our students are different. Some of them are working, but it's great that Handshake is trying to make it to where it fits, community college students. So it's been a great experience. Looking forward to see where we go.
Absolutely. All right, friends, that's all we got for you for this special edition of All Things Career Services with TNT. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with another fantastic episode. Thanks, everybody, and be well.